Welcome, everyone, to the City of Murfreesboro Historic Zoning Commission special meeting of February 23rd, 2016. It appears that we have a quorum. Brenda, would you guess that we do? Thank you.
First time ever.
I think every chair is occupied. It's good to see everyone. We have a couple of items to take a look at. The minutes of the regular meeting on October 20th, 2015, which you were correct, Brenda. October was our last meeting. It felt like it was just December, but
We also have two sections. There's only one listed.
I see that.
Yeah, okay. Special meeting too.
Yes. Okay. So take a look at the minutes from October 20, and see if you have any questions or comments.
I guess while we're waiting, someone could read the minutes.
Right.
I make a motion the minutes be approved from October 20.
Second.
We have a motion to approve from Rick and a second by a couple of people, and I'm assuming that you all actually read them.
Yes.
Any discussion? Anyone? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Say nay. Motion carries. All right. The next item are the minutes from a special meeting on October 29th, which concerned the same issue, the same proposal. And I believe, isn't that right? Yes. So take a look at those minutes, if you would. And after you've read them quickly, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion we approve as submitted.
And is there a second?
A second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any discussion on?
I just want to say I wasn't here for that called meeting about the Neely House, but it certainly does add to the block. It's really coming along nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. I do notice that my name is misspelled, Brenda. But, okay, thank you. All right, then next on our agenda for today is new business concerning
Nothing.
2255 Middle Tennessee Boulevard, Jeff and Ann Davis, removal of existing fence and construction of a new fence in the side yard of their property. Robert, do you have anything to report on that?
I do, Chairman Backlund. The house is located at 2255 Middle Tennessee Boulevard, and the applicants and the owners, they're requesting to remove an existing wooden fence and replace it with another fence in the side and rear yard of their property. As shown on the monitor, this is the front of the house that faces on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. And I'll go down here if I can click down here. This is another view better of the area where the fence is located.
And is it that fence that we see on the left side of the picture?
Right, correct.
Okay.
And this is a close-up of that fence. The neighbors have done some work to their detached shed behind their house, and part of what they're doing is putting up a brick wall. They're putting the brick wall up from the back property line up to a certain point, and the Davises would like to continue from that point and bring it up to, if you can see where the, let me see if I can, may have passed it. Aerial photograph shows the location of the existing fence where it's kind of circled here on a monitor. They want to extend it forward and then tie it back into the house on the right side. And here we go with the front view of it. You'll see that on the side here, I think there's a block structure right in here, and that's where they want to tie in toward the fence, toward the house with the fence. So they're proposing a metal fence. And in your diagram, in your agenda package, there's a brochure of the fence itself and how it's going to be looking. And they're requesting to do this, add this to the side of the house. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to
Robert,
answer.
where did you say the fence is going to tie in?
See
to the house?
the block?
Do I have the right photo?
Yeah. See the block? Yeah, let's see.
Oh.
That little block square? Yeah, right here,
Oh, okay.
right up in here. It's almost to the corner of the house,
Yes.
so I think the fence will be in front of that block structure. And when the applicant gets here, you can ask him what that block structure is. I'm not even sure what it is.
So Robert, is the new fence going where the old wooden fence was? Is there,
Well, they're wanting to go a little bit closer to the street
okay,
and then tie back into the house.
okay.
In the aerial photograph, you'll see that, where the little X's are, they're wanting to come up closer to the street and then tie back into the house. It'll tie to
Okay.
the corner of that house.
Yes. Jim.
Mr. Chair, that block structures as you described to me, and I haven't been by the house and I don't remember it well enough, but it looks like one of those Tudor sort of swooping walls at the corner that creates an architectural feature, and that block wall must be the terminus of that swooping wall feature. I have to say, I think it would be if that is the case, I wish they were here, I think it would be a mistake to allow the fence to be in front of that. I would want to see it behind it. And then if you look at the pictures in there, there is a gas meter. Doesn't the gas department have to get to it to read it? Unless
They'd have to read it somehow, yeah.
So, I have questions about where all that would work, but that swooping wall is a defining detail in this style of architecture, and I would definitely recommend that it go behind it. Two, if you put it there, and I don't remember the height of this fence that they're requesting, that would be a great place for somebody to jump over and get to your backyard if the fence is there for protection.
They said the fence would be 5 foot.
Is it 5? I still would probably put it behind that wall instead of screening that wall.
And you're sure that's what that is?
I'm not sure, but if you look at the photographs of the front, there appears to be a radius something there. Well, if you look at the second photograph, it's right, it's on that. So I believe that is one of those curved, if you look at the front entry pavilion, it's got a battered wall there. It's angled as a finger wall. That's another character defining element, but I believe that to be a radiused wall, and usually they terminate with a block pillar for it to run into. And I would just simply recommend they put it simply on the back side of it, not in front of it. If you put it in front of it, it's going to be in front of the facade of the building.
Anyone else have any comments?
I don't have the photograph of the fence that they want to put in.
It's a line drawing. It's on this page, and they said they wanted the UAS 100 spear top. and it's that one there. If you like, I can pass you mine. To me, it's innocuous and plain enough to where it doesn't really
Left, this one.
matter.
And I think their neighbors have.
Same one.
Yeah.
I think they've noted they wanted black, which I think would be fine.
Right. Or are they trying to really put it in the middle of it?
There are other accessories on that page of decorative circles, butterfly scrolls, large scrolls, quad finials, trifinials, ball caps. Are they providing any of that?
He said he just wanted to have the little finial on top.
So basically, the plain UAS 100 spear top is what he wants.
Like this.
I think that's pleasant.
So, Robert, you're not sure where they're recommending. You think it's just somewhere into that cement block there?
Yes. See if I can pull that up over here. I've enlarged that. If you want to pull that up on the monitor, we can maybe see some. He said in the area of this block. Well, it looks like it would be. I can see what looks like it swoops down.
I mean, they wouldn't be able to get next to the house if they butted up against that block, and then if they can't go to the right of it because it won't hit the house, and if they go to the left, they're going to hit the gas meter.
Yeah. We're talking about the location of the fence where it ties into the house, and this block structure, is that part of the architecture of the front of the house where it swoops out? Okay. And you're wanting to put the fence behind it, in front of it? Or can you come up to the podium?
Could you step to the podium, please? Yeah, thanks.
Like this is the structure, tee into it, keeping the same level across and going to the side of the house.
What is the level of that block structure, that pillar at the end of that swooping wall?
Level?
You mean height?
Height-wise?
3.5 feet, 3 feet.
It's
And
not
you want to
very-
put up a 5.5-foot fence, or 5?
Yeah, 5.
Is there any way to put this fence behind that swooping wall?
Got hydrant issues, I'm afraid, Jim.
There's a gas meter, we see that, and there's a downspout, it appears, that's behind that swooping wall. I
think I probably could. Since we're talking now, when I first started talking to Robert about this, it was the shadow box.
Yeah.
And since we've gone to the
It's
rail.
thinner.
Yeah, and I think I probably could.
It's just, I was just suggesting before you got here that those swooping walls are defining details of the Tudor house, and it would be important to not have this new fence, even though it's a minimal fence, as far as this view. It'd be better to have it behind it, and then frankly, if you could carry it all the way up to the brick wall behind it, the body of the building, and come out, that way you wouldn't have a different height of 5.5 feet to a lower pillar that then swoops up. You'd have a funny little gap there. I think if you took it all the way to the brick body of the house, it would be a more aesthetically pleasing solution.
Are you thinking then follow the contour of the yard or straight across? Because you see there's a little, by Miss Reed's driveway. My idea was to keep straight all the way across and adjust at the bottom where the...
All right, you monitor on the...
I mean, to me, where it ties into everything in your house is sort of straight, if you will, except for, of course, the roof or those swooping elements. I think I would keep it straight there, at least while the curved wall, and then if you need to step it down based on grade, that's fine.
That's what I think we're talking about.
But I would myself, and of course, my question too is how will the gas people get in there to
They're going
read
to
the
have to
meter?
relocate utilities anyway with the construction project. There's flags and paint marks all in the front yard, so I don't know. There would be a gate there. I've got to have a gate to access
Yeah, the
that
gates, they
courtyard.
can get back there
Yeah.
to check the meter.
Yeah, our HVAC central unit's there, and there's not enough room between my house and the fence for them to get around. So there will be a gate there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going to happen utility-wise, but yeah, I see what you're talking about. I've got room to do that, Jim. I can go behind the, what should we call that?
I don't know, there's a technical term, I just call it a swooping brick wall. I don't know,
Sounds
you
good to
call
me.
whatever
And
makes
by the
sense.
way, I apologize for
Super.
being late today.
But- And is it concrete? Is it stone?
No, well, it's not concrete. It's stone, I believe, Linda.
Okay. It's hard to tell.
Any other questions or comments from anyone?
Well, we apologize for making you come back.
That's just fair play.
You know, it's good to put things on your calendar, but you got to remember to look at your calendar.
That's what I said to Jim earlier, or to whatever his name is.
Thanks, Jim. You old man.
My memory's gone where yours has. At any rate, we had a full house today. Last week without you, and then this week.
Sorry I made you wait.
No.
Last
no
week
problem.
we weren't here and you were.
We deserve
So we appreciate you being here and glad that you made it here because we were asking questions to the air and weren't getting answers. So.
And traffic in front of the house is kind of a nightmare.
I guess you're going to have fun for the next 2, maybe 3 years.
They said it's an 865-day project. Does that sound right? Ron?
I think it was more than 2 years, around 2 years or more.
But I think they'll be past us a lot soon.
You may move before the project is done.
I think I'll stay a while.
Can't get his truck in there.
Sorry again.
Thank you. So
Do I study or?
you can listen to the vote if you'd like,
If you want to know the result.
if we get a motion.
I would like to move that we accept the fence and locate it behind the swooping wall, attach it to the house, and do exactly what you propose with that one addendum.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Paul Cross, second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries and the project's approved. Thank you for bringing your project to us, and we appreciate the work that you're doing to improve the historic district.
Well, thank you. When they finish the road, I'll be back and we'll do some more.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Any other items on the agenda? Robert, you want to
Well, I can
discuss?
mention that the statewide preservation conference is in Nashville next month, and anybody's welcome to come and attend. It's going to be at the inn at the Opryland at Gaylord Hotel. I have maps if anybody wants to know how to get there, and there'll be no charge to attend the conference since we'll be driving back and forth if you need to.
Okay. I think that's the Tennessee Preservation Trust. It's a joint conference along with a couple other organizations. I think maybe Tennessee Association for Museums is going to be there, and a number of others. And they have, I noticed on the email from Dan Brown that they have special certified local government training on Wednesday, March 16th in the afternoon, and that would probably be very helpful for some of us. 4 sessions that start at 11:30 with lunch and end about 4:30. So I think that we all sometimes feel the need for more knowledge about the things that we do with this commission. So I would encourage anyone who is able to attend to try to do so. And it looks like you can register online, and that would be a plus for. Do any of the city staff plan to go that you know of?
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to go. I'd like to go, but we have a planning commission meeting that day
Okay.
in the afternoon, so.
Brenda, you think you might go? Okay, just checking.
What's the dates?
It's March 16th which is, I'm not.
Wednesday, Thursday, and
Wednesday,
Friday.
yeah.
I'm going to take one of these and pass it around. I'm going to pass around a little map, and
That's the CLG, the Certified Local Government portion is Wednesday, but the conference is
it's 3 days.
3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'm sure the agenda's online, so. Anything else?
That's all I have.
I've got one thing, Mr. Chairman. About 3 or 4 months ago, I mentioned my concern about the Cedar Grove Church, the deterioration of the steeple. It's on East Main. Robert, you were going to do some checking, but I did see the pastor there the other day, and I did find out that they own the church. So
Okay.
it's their church, they're not leasing it. So I brought the steeple to his attention, and he said it's just so expensive that they're not able to do it. I says, well, my concern, Pastor, is if you let it go, it's going to get beyond the point. And the last thing I think we want to do is have you tear the steeple down and not replace it. And so if you think scraping and painting is going to be expensive, then we're going to be into a real bind. And his response to me is I can make a contribution to the church. So. But anyways, I mean, the bottom line of this thing is it's deteriorating more every day, and where do we as a commission or a city have the ability to put a little pressure on them to fix it?
The Building and Codes Department has a maintenance policy inside the city, and I can ask them to take a look at it, see if it's up to their rules and regulations to see if they can actually have them do something about it.
Would you do that and let
Yeah,
us know
sure.
next meeting?
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is that a contributing structure? Or?
That,
I'd have to look, I don't know.
that brings up, just reminds me of a couple of things. I think, I don't know if it was last year or year before, we sent, I believe, information to each of the residents of the historic district about the historic district and the commission and sort of the guidelines for people who are living in the district. And given our experience back in October, I think it might be useful because that was a new purchase, someone who moved into the historic district without knowing what the guidelines were. The church, for example, may not know what the guidelines are for the historic district. Would it be possible, or is it timely now to send that material out again? Do you remember when we last did that?
It's probably been more than a year ago, so
Yeah.
we can,
Find out who the new owners are
Yeah.
in the
Well,
district.
I'm thinking of the whole district. I'm wondering if it's worth sending out that material once a year to people who live in the historic district.
we've had some new people moving in. I got a call from somebody moving in on College Street in Highland, and they're wanting to know what they can do
Right.
and what they can't do, so. We have some people moving in, moving out, so it's on a periodic basis, we can send something out.
Seems to me it's just a good reminder
Yeah.
for Penn. It's not that expensive, 50 cents a head, whatever.
Mr. Chair, I think it'd be good to send to all the realtors in this area too, who are selling properties in the district. They should be informing the people buying houses that you have conditions.
That might be valuable. I'm not sure how many realtors there are, but if you have a list of them, but.
Well, they have meetings where they get together,
Yeah, and-
lunches and stuff. I know they do that because I have friends who do
It
it.
may be possible for one of us or one of you, to attend those Association of Realtors meetings and talk about the historic
Yeah.
district just for general edification.
I've talked to the director of the Board of Realtors before and about historic zoning and properties in the district, and they're aware of it. But like I say, it never hurts to touch bases with them every once in a
Right.
while.
And just want to reiterate the point that I made last week also, that I'm personally grateful for the fact that the Methodist Church, the old First Methodist Church downtown, is going to be, appears that it will be saved, because I think it's a significant building, a significant part of the skyline, the sense of place that it provides for the city of Murfreesboro. So I just want to express my appreciation to the City Council for voting to preserve that. And we'll be facing that with other buildings that are perhaps on the square that are not in the historic district, but I think it's worth thinking about, for everyone in the community, how do these architectural examples lend a sense of place to all of us, both inside the historic district and outside?
I have a question.
Yes.
Several months ago, someone came before us, and they were representing a potential buyer for a house on Main, the one next to Marie Miller. But did that ever go through, or did they?
To my knowledge, I haven't seen any work on that house.
I haven't either.
I've looked and tried to notice if anything had changed, but they were wanting to. It's vinyl siding now, and I think they were wanting to change it to another vinyl siding, and they haven't pursued it any farther, so I don't know.
I think if they went ahead and purchased it, right? I mean, it was somebody who was potentially going to buy the house, it seems.
I don't know. I think
can't
it was
remember.
somebody who was, and that maybe it's been a while since
Yeah.
I've heard about it, so I'd have to look back into it, and I got the lady's name so I can refresh my memory. But I haven't seen any movement on the house, no changing of siding to a different siding or different material.
Okay. Any other business? Motion to adjourn from someone?
So moved.
And second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion to adjourn carries.